For 4 generations now, the Swanson Pickle Company of Ravenna, Michigan has quietly, almost under the radar, been a major supplier of brined pickles. It all started in 1949 with Wesley Swanson moving out of dry beans after World War II and into pickles. His only son was Don, who chose to get into and stay in the business.
So I was a teenager and I thought that was just the best thing in the world, pickle business. They picked all day and then you'd grade all night and stay up late at night. That was kind of exciting. We got our first tanks, I think, in 1953. Before that, they called my dad No Tank Swanson, which was unusual to be in the pickle business and not have tanks as an outlet for when you couldn't sell them fresh. And so No Tank went to now probably our company. We probably have the most tanks of anybody in Michigan, I would think, or we're at least in the top 3.
Don Swanson's 3 sons are active in the family business. John is the oldest and serves as president of the company. After getting a business degree from Marquette University, he returned to the farm and has never regretted it.
Growing up, I worked at the pickle station every summer. It was just something that we did, and something that I really enjoyed. It was almost part of my social life because all my friends worked with us at the same time. So we'd always say we work hard, play hard. And my dad was always one that was really good about letting us boys do whatever we felt we could do. And he didn't micromanage us that much, allowed us to do what we felt capable of. So about the time that I graduated from college, we were a grower and a grader, but everything was our own pickles. And so we had 265 wood tanks, and we were self-contained. We grew the pickles, we graded them, we put them in the tanks, and then we sold them. But once I got out of college in 1980, I always liked the brining part of our business, probably better than the farming, although now I actually enjoy the farming probably as much. But I saw where the brining kind of was fun. It moved you farther along in what I call making that loaf of bread. And it seemed like we had a good reputation as a briner, and there was an opportunity where we went to the manufacturers and said, you know, if you want us, we'll start taking over your brining responsibilities. And that's when we got introduced to fiberglass tanks, and we eliminated the wood tanks, and then gradually went from 0 fiberglass tanks in 1981 to actually these are going to get us up to 1,370 fiberglass tanks. We're adding another 21 this year.
John says, though they've never had a master plan for the business, he feels their success is due to their ability to react to their customers' needs. Those needs have meant expanding brining capacity, adding a new grader in 2001, and growing on more land. There's roughly 30,000 acres of processing pickles grown in Michigan. Swansons themselves contribute 1,000 to that mix, along with purchasing additional pickles from other growers. And there's another 2,000 acres dedicated to corn, soybeans, and wheat. Matt Swanson is John's youngest son and oversees the farming operation.
It's a 50-day plus or minus a few plant to harvest crop. So the timing and the harvest is everything, because a half day can mean quite a bit of money. That's why we have these big machines that we do, so that we can pick them when we want to pick them and when they need to be picked. But when you go walking through a pickle field, it's just, there's no right answer, so it's a tough call to decide when the field's actually ready. Vogel Engineering in Fremont, Michigan makes the harvesters. We do about 1,000 acres custom harvest for some guys close by that don't necessarily want to make the investment of getting a harvester, but they want to be pickle farmers, and it works out for us because we want the pickles. That's one of my favorite things on the farm, is running the harvesters and managing the harvesters, because they're pretty impressive machines.
The pickles are trucked to the tank yard where they're washed and graded based on size. That process is overseen by Paul Swanson. The scheduling of trucks and bringing pickles in from the field, as well as those filled with brined pickles heading to Heinz in Bay Valley, are coordinated by Dave Swanson. He's also in charge of tracking chemical traceability, those used in the fields, to make sure growers are compliant with USDA.
So this program, I click on this and we can type in the account number. Each grower has an account number and the field number, and that helps us determine which grower and field it came from, but it's also traceability for pesticide and spray records, and the grower also has that as a record too. And then at the end, we go on this computer over here, and it gives us a summary at the end of the day of everything that we did, and it breaks it down into sizes. And then I email, each grower gets an email of the amount of pickles in their certificate, and it has their cost and everything within minutes.
Once pickles are graded, they head to the brining tanks. Each 12 by 12 foot brining tank holds 900 bushels of pickles, which equates to 45,000 pounds. The pickles take up 1/3 of the tank, with the rest being brine. Wes Swanson is one of 2 of John's sons and oversees the tank yard.
For our busy time of the year, pickle season that we like to call it, I manage the tank yard crew, which is, right around 8 to 10 guys. Our main priority is filling the tanks. So when the pickles come from the fields, from our fields and other growers, they go through our grader. When they come out of the grader, they get, into different sizes. And that's where my crew comes in. Then we unload the trucks. So the trucks get filled up throughout the day. And every time there's a full truck, we have to take it to the tank and fill it up. So I kind of help make sure that goes good and keep everybody rolling on that, make sure the right sizes get to the right tank, because we don't want to mix up the sizes, obviously. And, we got some other jobs throughout the day, but that's the main priority.
Once the pickles are in the tanks, Dave's wife Janet goes to work with the brining process. She and her crew of 6 women prepare the salt brine, stirred only by the force of water, as nothing foreign is allowed to touch the pickles.
We're very careful about what happens out here in the tank yard as far as safety. We want to make sure that nothing gets in our tanks. We really don't touch the pickles at all. We just mainly keep them brined and make sure that they stay under the brine too, so that we don't have any problem with bleaching or just anything basically escaping. You'd be surprised that a pickle will try to get out from underneath that head. And so our thing is just to make sure that everything is fermenting the way it's supposed to, that they're purging the way they're supposed to, and basically just that they're maintained. We want to make sure that everything is safe.
Food safety is paramount these days, with a regulatory process second to none. John Swanson's daughter Katie oversees that part of the business.
We get everyone from USDA to OSHA to EPA to FDA even coming in to do audits here. And these are just random things that happen, not every year, but pretty much once a year we get one government agency that just comes for a random audit. So we need to be prepared for all of that, which we are continually staying up on. And as well, right now, what's happening is a big movement towards manufacturers really pushing higher food safety standards than what the government even mandates. So right now, that's a big part of what I'm working on, is getting us, fit to those new standards. I would say that our food has been safe. We continue to produce a safe product, but the requirements in terms of documentation have dramatically changed.
As with every good organization, there's one individual that tends to keep everyone in line. For the Swanson Pickle Company, that's Ruth Pyman. Though not family, she's definitely thought of being one of them. With the company for over 16 years, Ruth handles accounts payable and receivable, makes sure employees get paid, and attempts to keep John Swanson focused on tasks at hand.
I am the only one in the office that isn't family, but it doesn't feel that way. We had a conversation about that one day, about how I feel like I'm part of it. I never feel like I'm out of place. They just don't let you feel that way. And they treat their employees that way too. Not everyone has a support system in their life. And, we've had employees come and go that have fallen on hard times, and they take care of them, and they really do care about people in their community. And so with it being a business that is owned by a family, you get a real sense of someone who wants to help you out and lead you down the right path, but yet at the same time they're very progressive. as far as how they run their business, and they do a great job.
John Swanson stresses that his employees are a big reason for what happens on a daily basis at Swanson Pickle Company and are largely responsible for where the company is at today. And he doesn't take for granted how lucky he is to have all his family playing a part as well.
I know my dad felt good about kids coming back. Now I realize how special that is. And it's a unique situation to be father and leader of a company and a family business, but the upside is way more than anything that's ever trouble. And then we also have Dave's wife, Janet, and her 4 kids always worked here. And then Paul's wife, Sue, works here, and my wife, Mary, has always been an integral part. My mom has been, where they fill in if they're ever needed. And the grandkids are pretty young yet, but the 5th one's on the way, and they visit us all the time. And to me, that then it really gets special. So it gives me the sense to always keep moving along, especially with the kids coming around, and I take great pride in it. I know that being 4th generation family business is an accomplishment, and I'd like to think that we've kind of mastered that, and who knows if we'll make the 5th generation, but it's always got to be a choice of the individuals. I don't think anybody ever felt forced into it, which I think is important.
The Swanson Pickle Company, 4 generations strong, with the 5th generation on the grow, will undoubtedly continue to procure, sort, and ferment pickles for many years to come.